Hello booktubers, my name is Lauren and you're watching Dreams Books Courage. This was supposed to be a combined video of my December wrap-up and my January TBR, but now it's just my January TBR because I read absolutely no books in December. And you would think that maybe I would since I have already had like 2 weeks off from school, but I just didn't. I think part of it was I was busy the entire month and I'm still a little bit busy, but definitely not quite as busy as I was in December. So I read absolutely nothing, including during the holiday booktubeathon, which I'm so sad about, but I did make a vlog for the holiday booktubeathon. If you want to watch that, I'll leave a link to it down below. So you would think since I was unable to read any novels or anything in the month of December that I would be realistic and only put like 1 or 2 books on my TBR for January. But of course, I'm not going to be realistic at all, and instead I have 9 total books on my TBR for the month of January. I know that I will not read all 9 of these novels, and yet here I am talking about 9 of them. I'll talk individually about why I want to read each of these novels within the month of January, and that it does have a bit of a purpose to it, even if I'm not being realistic. So let's go ahead and get into my first TBR of 2017. At first, my TBR looks like it has an optimistic approach, because the first novel I'm going to be talking about I've actually already finished, and that is Milk and Honey by Ruby Carr. As you can see here, I read it on my Kindle, but this is a poetry collection that is divided into 4 chapters. Those chapters being the hurting, the loving, the breaking, and the healing. And depending on what's happening in your life, you'll relate to one chapter over the others. And I definitely feel like I related to one over the others as well. I don't want to turn this into a wrap-up or anything since this is my TBR. But at least I've already finished 1 of the 9, so technically I only have like 8 left. Although that's still not positive because that's a lot left to read. But anyways, this is a modern poetry collection, so I would recommend it if you do enjoy poetry. This definitely had some very quotable poems in it. And I'm planning on having a review of this up soon, so if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link down below if I've already posted it. And next, I have my first reread of 2017. And that is City of Bones, the first book in the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. And I was planning on reading all of this in the month of December, but obviously that did not happen. So this is my current read. I wanted to finish this before Season 2 Shadowhunters came out, but I'm filming this video on the day that Season 2 premieres. So I'm thinking that's probably not going to happen, but I do want to finish this one up this month. And I'm also rewatching all of Season 1 along with reading this, which is really fun. It's been quite a few years since I first read this, so I'm enjoying going back through it and just falling in love with the characters all over again. It's just one of those series that feels like coming home whenever I start it again, so I'm so happy to be rereading this. This series is about a group of Shadowhunters, and what Shadowhunters are is that they are half angel and half human, and they are sworn to protect humans against demons, and a lot of craziness ensues. There's just so much within the series, I don't even know where to begin, but I would highly recommend the series and the TV show to some extent. I personally do enjoy watching it, and since I'm reading City of Bones for Season 1, of course I have to read City of Ashes for Season 2, which of course is the second book in the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare, and actually probably my least favorite of the series because there's a ship happening in it that I do not like so much, but this is still an amazing book, and I'm excited to be rereading this along with watching the series. I feel like the TV series is definitely going to diverge a lot from the original stories, but I'm excited to see where they're kind of alike. And as I said before, I'm really excited to just be getting back into this world. And next, I am rereading even more books because a TV series is coming out for these books, and that is the series of Unfortunate Events. They have made a series of this on Netflix, and it comes out about halfway through this month. And the first season is going to be on the first 4 books, so of course I want to reread these before I watch the series. So hopefully I can do that. These are quite short reads, and the font is pretty big within these, so hopefully I'll be able to do that. Book 1 is The Bad Beginning, Book 2 is The Reptile Room, Book 3 is The Wide Window, and Book 4 is The Miserable Mill. So hopefully these won't take too long to read, but they are quite a big chunk of my TBR for January. I'm just so excited for this TV show. I hope it's great. And I forgot to mention that these books are by Lemony Snicket. The premise of this series is that there are 3 orphan children, and they are running away from this man who wants to adopt them for their money, who is named Count Olaf. And they just go to all these crazy places trying to hide away from him, but he always comes to find them in these crazy disguises. Each novel is definitely quite a bit different, but they're all super great. They're just such fun adventures, although they're also quite sad. So I'm really looking forward to rereading these first 4. And one of my reading goals for 2017 is to read all of the books by one author. And so I felt like I had to go with Sarah J Maas, so that's exactly what I'm doing. I haven't read 2 of her books that are currently out, and she has 2 more coming out this year, so that's 4 in total. But I'm also rereading the novels that I've already read by her. So I'm starting out the year with A Court of Thorns and Roses, and this is one of the novels that I'm rereading. I've heard the second novel of the series is amazing, so I'm really excited to get back into this. This first novel is kind of like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, although quite a bit different. The main character is a girl named Feyre, and she is a hunter, and one day she kills the wrong animal and her life just goes completely crazy. She's basically kidnapped and taken away to this completely different place, and the story takes off from there, but it's just beautifully written, and the story is just so different from anything else I've ever read. And I just really want to read the sequel because I know for some people it's their favorite book of 2016, and I feel like I've forgotten a lot of details of this novel. So I'm really looking forward to rereading it, and I think I'm also going to rewatch Beauty and the Beast before I get into this. Plus it's perfect that the live action film of Beauty and the Beast is coming out later this year, but I'm really excited to read more by Sarah J Maas because I haven't read anything by her since like January of last year, so it's definitely time for me to get back into her writing. And the last novel that I have is an anthology that has been on my TBR since October. And again, I'm definitely not sure if I'm going to get to this one at all, and that is Slasher Girls and Monster Boys, which is edited by April Genevieve Dutrolk and features a lot of amazing authors. I have read quite a few of these already, but all these other novels have gotten in the way of reading this, and I'm not really on so much of a time crunch to read this one, so I'm just planning on going through this little by little and reading the stories. And as you can tell, this is kind of a horror novel, but I would personally say that there's just more creepy than scary. But I am enjoying going through this and reading different stories by new authors and finding some authors that I'm really enjoying and looking forward to reading more by. So this is all of my absolutely crazy TBR for January. I'm definitely not going to finish all of these within January. For one, I don't even plan on reading all of City of Ashes in January, but I plan on going through it as the TV series progresses. I'm really excited to read all these, but it's just kind of impossible to read them all at the same time. So I'm just going to try not to think too hard about having to read all of these novels and just kind of be more relaxed with it and just get to them whenever I can. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I would love to know down below which of these you have read and have enjoyed and what your thoughts are on them, and also if you're planning on watching Shadowhunters Season 2 and a series of unfortunate events. Thank you guys so much for watching, and now I'm gonna go get back to reading.